Hi, my name's Nik Cook. I'm a member of the psychology team at the Optimum Health Clinic. Today I'm going to be talking about the helper subtype and getting to know your helper. The helper is one of the psychological subtypes that we commonly see presenting in clients with fatigue-related conditions. Being a helper subtype and the thought patterns, beliefs, habits and behaviours associated with it can contribute significantly to the overall load on your system. If you are a helper type, you are likely to have learned from an early age that to be accepted, safe and loved, you have to look after everybody else and put their needs ahead of your own. This is unlikely to have been caused by one episode, but by an accumulation of many. An example of such an event might be a child with a younger sibling, whose parents were going through a divorce, seeing how, by looking after the day-to-day needs of their sibling, it reduced friction between their parents and created a more stable and safe environment. Helper types will often then go on to be part of helping professions, often having strong friendships and family relationships, but will often subjugate their own needs for others. Helper types will often have an issue with anything that comes across as selfishness, and can often have strong instincts to please, keeping everyone else happy. This means that helper types have a tough time setting appropriate boundaries and saying no. Helper types are usually very scared about letting anyone down and worry a good deal about what others think about them. In extreme cases, they will have become so disconnected from their own needs that they cannot express them or even really know what those needs are. They will, however, often feel, at some level, unsupported emotionally, exhausted, even angry or resentful with those around them, but will then give themselves a hard time for having these feelings. All of this is because, to the helper, if they don't put others' needs ahead of their own, the threat or consequence is that they won't be accepted, loved, or safe. It's easy to see the enormous energy costs of existing in this way, and how it could play a role in becoming ill. There's even a case to be made that the body simply has to find a way to stop us and force us to take notice of it and look after ourselves. No, for many helpers it drives them to do amazing things. Look at nurses, doctors, physios, and other helping professions, even psychology practitioners. Unfortunately, as I've already said, in combination though with the other loads on your system, it can be one of those contributors to a fatigue-related condition. The first stage is to simply recognise and acknowledge that you may have a helper subtype. You can then start recognising in the moment when that subtype is making itself felt, and by using a variety of tools, stop those patterns and start introducing more helpful, less energy costly, and less stress-causing ones. It's important though that we recognise that this subtype was created to meet an important need for us: love, acceptance or safety. And at that time, it's the best solution for us and has simply been carrying out that same duty for us. Although we may not like how that subtype is making us think, act or feel now, it's only doing what we asked it to do many years ago. By working with a helper subtype and getting them to stand down, this doesn't mean you'll stop helping people. In fact, as helping will no longer be motivated by the threat of not being loved, safe or accepted, it'll be far more sustainable and enjoyable. Your motivation to help will come from the simple intrinsic joy of doing so, the actual process of helping, rather than a constant fearful avoidance of the perceived consequence of not. You'll find it far easier to set appropriate boundaries, say no, and look after yourself. When my wife was going down her own recovery journey from a fatigue-related condition, strong helper part in me in my role of the carer really came to the fore and took charge. This drained me, made me swing wildly between feelings of resentment and guilt, and I ended up having a breakdown and being in no state to look after my wife. By identifying and working with this part of myself, I started looking after my own needs more, giving myself time and space without guilt, and in doing so, was able to care and support for my wife in a far more sustainable way. Head over to the clinic website, www.theoptimumhealthclinic.com, for more resources, to register for a free information pack, and to arrange a discovery call with one of the team.